Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out. This is episode 320 and the first show of November. Hope you're all doing well out there. And if any of you have loved ones in the Middle East, I hope everyone is safe and sound given what's been going on. Heart-wrenching to see the images come out of the region. Also, so disappointing how the rest of the world is reacting to it all, where everyone has become an armchair historian or military strategist all of a sudden, and a lot of hatred bubbling up to the surface. Anyhow, I do hope that you like this show I put together for you this hour, maybe to get your mind off of world events. We've got 4 great guests on deck. We'll kick things off with the awesome Lisa Eadicicco from CNET.com, one of the biggest digital magazines on the planet, on tech trends for the holidays, also how to save money leading up to and over Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and why passkeys may be better than passwords, something that Google and Amazon are both pushing. After that, the latest in dashboard cameras, or dashcams for short, when we catch up with Nextbase, and we'll hear what they've got now called the Nextbase IQ. It just came out this week. As you might suspect with a name like that, it's super smart. It can even record interactions with the police and broadcast that video in real time and keep an eye on your car outside and inside of it, whether you're there or not. Fujifilm will also join us to talk about new cameras, speaking of cameras, and the retro craze as well. And finally, WD Black will join us on Tech It Out to talk about gaming drives for the holidays, something to buy that gamer on your gift list, the gift of storage, whether you're playing on PS5, Xbox, Nintendo, or a Windows PC. All of this and more on an all-new Tech It Out. Let's kick things off. For those who seek the latest tech news, reviews, the hottest deals, and more, no doubt you've bookmarked CNET.com, one of the longest running and most respected digital magazines out there for all things home tech, mobile gadgets, automotive, and more. And so I'm thrilled to have on the show for the first time, Lisa Eadicicco. She's senior editor at CNET to chat with us about a few tech topics. Welcome, Lisa. Good to chat with you.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Before we dive into those 2 tech topics that I just alluded to, please tell us a bit about your work and what you specialize in at CNET as senior editor. Is there like a certain beat that you like?
Yeah, absolutely. I specialize in covering mobile devices. So that means I review smartphones, smartwatches, and fitness bands. But I also occasionally write feature stories about bigger industry trends as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been a fan of your work for a while, so please keep up the great work at CNET.com. And fun fact, I wrote for CNET back in the 90s. I'm dating myself here. So it's been a couple of decades. Ever since the 90s, I've always followed CNET and all the great editors there, including your work. All right, so let's now start off with the upcoming shopping season. We're into November now. So what tech do you think will be hot this year?
Yeah, so the holiday season is usually a big time for gaming related purchases. So I expect that to be the case again this year. So you have the current generation of consoles like the Nintendo Switch OLED, the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series X and S, the Steam Deck. All of those things will likely continue to be big holiday sellers because, again, those are the types of purchases that are on the expensive side. And they're also things that you might not just buy for yourself throughout the year. But aside from game consoles, I also think there are other tech gadgets that kind of fall into that same category of being really useful and desirable, but someone might not necessarily buy it for themselves. So I think smartwatches is one area like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Apple Watch Series 9 and the Google Pixel Watch 2 also ended up being hot gifts this year.
Yeah, smartwatches, certainly lots of room for growth. There's still people picking it up and realizing the value proposition and having all this information pushed to your wrist. It's just so convenient to glance down or to even use your smartwatch to buy something at retail by just waving your watch over a sensor. Love that. And then for gaming on this show this hour, we're also talking with WD Black. They make external storage for game systems, the 3 big ones and PCs as well, because increasingly we're downloading games digitally instead of buying them on a disc. And so it's easy to run out of room. So that's a good, I think, gift idea for a gamer on your gift list is the gift of storage. And for all of these things, Lisa, smartwatches and gaming systems, I guess Black Friday, Cyber Monday coming up soon, later this month. Any tips on scoring a good deal on those things and other tech as well?
One of the biggest things you can do is have a clear idea of what you want to buy and start doing some research about that product beforehand. So, for example, if you want a new laptop, a new gaming console, or a new TV, do some research and get a sense of how much that product usually costs and what the lowest price usually is. Because a lot of stores may advertise a discount as being a good Black Friday sale, even if that item is regularly marked down. So you definitely want to stay informed. And of course, CNET is always keeping track of those kinds of deals and discounts, so you can always check there. But the other big tip I would say is to avoid buying tech products that are too old. If a deal looks too good to be true, it probably is. And it could be because that product is a few years old. So, buying a computer or a phone that's maybe 1 or 2 generations old is fine, but you don't really want to go beyond that. Even if it means spending a little more, it is a good idea to invest in tech that's going to last a long time. So you do want to try to buy something on the newer side if you can.
Yeah, great advice. I always suggest to stretch a little more if you're able to, so you don't have buyer's remorse, buying something that's underpowered or you can't run the applications that you want, compared to future-proofing your investment, if you will. Even if you have to hold off a little longer in order to afford the newer device, it means that you don't have to replace it, which will be, in the end, more expensive. So that's a great tip. The section that Lisa was alluding to, if you simply go to cnet.com, CNET.com, there is right under the logo, it says deals and reviews, as well as Price Finder, where you can look up what you've had your eye on, which is awesome. And speaking of electronics, Lisa, let's now pivot and talk about passwords and passkeys. This has been in the news a lot between Amazon and Google over the past couple of weeks. I know CNET's covered it as well. Before we get to what a passkey is, when it comes to passwords, what are we doing wrong with them? Why are we putting ourselves at risk?
Yeah, so the biggest flaw with passwords is that they can be hard to remember, but easy to guess. So I would say that's the number one thing that most people are doing wrong with their passwords is that they make them really easy so that they can remember them, or they reuse the same passwords often. And the other thing about passwords to remember is that they also make you vulnerable to phishing attacks, because it can be easy for, a really savvy hacker to send an email that looks legitimate that convinces you to turn over your login credentials.
Right. And if you do use that same password for all your online activity, you're just basically handing over the keys to the kingdom to
exactly
these, cyber criminals out there, even though it's a lot more convenient. So with that in mind, are you a fan of those password manager apps?
Yeah, I've used some of them here and there. They can be very useful, and they do make it really easy to create a password that's incredibly difficult to guess without the burden of having to remember them. But again, one thing that I'm sure this as well, after, a decade of covering technology, you kind of learn that the bad guys are always one step ahead of the good guys. So I'm sure as useful as those password managers are, it's rare that something is totally foolproof.
Yeah, for sure. We even saw over the past year, 1 or 2 of those password manager apps getting hacked as well. We are chatting with Lisa Eadicicco. She's senior editor at CNET. She's joining us on the show to chat about a few tech topics. We first spoke about some gadget gift ideas for the holidays, the latest consoles, as well as how to score a good deal. And now we're ending off on why passkeys might be a better solution than passwords. Can you explain what a passkey is, Lisa?
Yeah, absolutely. So a passkey is a new type of login credential that requires you to use your physical device, like your phone or your laptop, instead of a password. So there's no long string of characters to remember, but you usually use your biometrics like a fingerprint or facial recognition to log in. So basically, the way a passkey works is that this new type of login credential stores a tiny bit of digital data on your phone or your laptop, and then you authenticate the use of that data when you log into something by using facial recognition or your fingerprint.
All right. So if you're logging into Gmail, which is, again, part of the Google family that they announced the other day with support for passkeys, and Amazon, you're about to do some shopping for Black Friday or Cyber Monday or into the holidays, the idea is that you use the same way that you log into your phone in order to access these accounts. And that could be a part of your body to identify you uniquely. So your fingerprint, your face, that kind of thing. Is that fair? It's basically defaulting to what the device uses to authenticate you.
Yeah, that's essentially it. Yeah, it basically uses uses it's the combination of your biometrics and the device that authenticates you logging into that app.
Are you a fan of multi-factor authentication, whereby not only do you need a password or passkey now to identify you, but you also need a second code that's often sent to your phone to prove it's really you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I use two-factor authentication whenever I can, because the more authentication steps there are, the harder it is for, strangers, intruders, bad actors to get into your account. And the nice thing about passkeys is that it's even more secure than using a traditional two-factor authentication method, because even those can be spoofed now. You have to be really careful, even when you get a text message or something sending you a code to log into your account. Hackers have gotten really good at spoofing those kinds of messages and what they look like. So the nice thing about passkeys is that it's your fingerprint, your face, and your physical phone. So that's something that a hacker can't fake, or at least not yet.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, give them time and they'll find a way to hack your face. These deep fakes, the grandparent scams where they're getting quote unquote phone calls from their grandkids that sound like them, but it's not them. Yeah, very scary times indeed. So with that in mind, Lisa, for everything that we've been chatting about today and other topics that you write about at CNET.com, how do we find your work? Do we just do a search for Lisa at CNET?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find my work at CNET.com, usually under the tech section. And CNET is also on YouTube, Instagram, X, and TikTok. So you'll definitely see me there. And on X, my handle is at Lisa Eadicicco, and it's the same on Threads. So you can also find me on those channels as well.
All right, awesome. CNET.com, or you can find Lisa Eadicicco on her socials. Great chatting with you, Lisa. Thank you so much for your time. All the best.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. When is a dash cam more than a dash cam? When it has some serious smarts to it, including the ability to contact emergency services in the event of an accident, or keep an eye on other vehicles on the road and other objects to help you stay safe. Or maybe when it can even watch your vehicle when you're not inside. Joining us to tell us all about the brand new Nextbase IQ is Jeff Chuh, VP of Marketing at Nextbase. Hi, Jeff. Thanks for your time.
Hey, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Great to chat with you again, Jeff. We had you on about 4 months ago, but I wanted to invite you back onto the program this time to chat about the Nextbase IQ, specifically build as your most intelligent dashboard camera to date. But before we talk about that model, please tell us a bit about Nextbase and what separates your dash cams from others.
Yeah, so kind of a loaded question, but Nextbase is really establishing the dash cam market as the dash cam specialist. If you go online, go to Amazon or anywhere where you go would buy a dash cam. A lot of dash cams, they all look the same and they all promise the world at a very low cost, coming from the same factory with different brand names. And as we know, you kind of get what you pay for. And I think what Nextbase really does and what we are a premium dash cam brand. We really focus on designing and creating reliable, functional, and practical dash cams, and also pushing the envelope when it comes to innovation.
And I know that this is all Nextbase does. It's not like other companies that have, 100 different kinds of products and dash cams happen to be one of them. This is what you specialize in.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, Jeff. So now tell us about your Nextbase IQ. By its name, it sounds like it's smart. Where do you want to begin?
Yeah, I guess from the start, we were looking at the white space in the automotive sector of, what are drivers lacking today, vehicle owners, et cetera. And as we probably know, a lot of people who are lucky enough to own a house, their car is the second most expensive purchase that they've made in their life. So why wouldn't we expect some of the technology and securities that we'd have from your home security in the car, plus the hostile driving road and conditions that we've experienced, especially after COVID, larger incident liability issues, smash and grab, some of the things that are just happening around the world. And we really looked at technology that we learned to love and admire that exists already. Dash cams, obviously, there's definitely a space for dash cams. Even the Tesla Sentry mode with more active car security, but a lot of people can't afford a new car, let alone a Tesla. And then home security, of course, there's leaps and bounds of innovation around home security. But you think about the differences between protecting a car and protecting a home. A home doesn't move. not a lot of people, unless you're living in a dense urban environment, are walking in front of your doorway. So there's a lot more opportunity for your car to be in harm's way. And we think that there's a solution for that. We are introducing the first truly smart dash cam with amazing video and technology around AI, spatial awareness, and cellular technology. Put all that technology together, we can solve some really great problems that you face every day.
And there's also a companion app, right, that can transmit that dash cam footage to your phone.
Yeah, 100%. As we know, kind of the cell phone is the center of our universe now. So now you can see what's happening around your car or even inside your car at any moment and be notified whether something is happening.
Right. So I've seen dash cams that have what they often call is parking mode, but I think your solution goes above and beyond that.
Yeah, like I talked about, with all those pieces of technology that we incorporated, we're able to anticipate, prevent, and defend your car from dangers potentially ever happening. The existing dash cams typically need to wait for a moment to happen, whether that's a bump or some sort of incident, to start recording. But with the Nextbase IQ, with the proximity sensing spatial awareness, we can detect if there's a threat coming towards your car and lurking around your car to the point that the dash cam will wake up, start recording. If the person or whoever it may be tampers with your car, automatically get a push notification to your phone where you can instantly live view, drop in from wherever you are, even if you're in a different country, see what's happening. If the person's inside your car, set an alarm, an audible alarm with a speaker that's built in, notifying them that they've been seen, and eventually a push to talk so you can say, hey, get out of my car, put that back.
Again, it's like your video doorbell where you can talk to the person at your front door, even if you're not inside. So with the Nextbase IQ, it has a second camera that faces inside your vehicle. And then there's an optional rear view camera, correct?
Exactly, yeah. So you get a front-facing camera where you can see everything that's happening in front of the car, and then an interior cabin view, which is infrared as well. So you can see day and night what's happening inside the car and even outside the car from out the side windows and out the back window.
And speaking of that camera that faces inside your vehicle, if you're, say, pulled over by the authorities, you can also leverage that camera if you want video evidence of the interaction. And the Nextbase IQ also has something called witness mode. Tell us about that.
Yeah, and it's not just about archiving. It's about having a little bit of backup and witness. You can activate witness mode if you feel like you're in personal danger, there's a road rage happening around your car, or your personal rights are being violated when getting pulled over. Use your voice to engage witness mode, and that will instantly lock that footage for 30 minutes. So it's not written over. It will push it to the cloud and instantly send a text and email to your emergency contacts so they can see exactly what's happening, live view it, drop in, witness it, possibly support you or even intervene. It's all about de-escalating at the end of the day. You know, if you can remote drop in, push to talk, say, hey, officer, what's happening? If you can intervene and say, you know, the insurance is in the glove box or whatever you may be needing to support the person that's in the car that may be flustered or nervous, you can be there to de-escalate the situation. It's all about walking away safely.
I guess some other applications, Jeff, are if you leave your car with a valet and you just want to have some peace of mind knowing that your car is not going to be abused, or if you bring it to a new mechanic.
Yeah, we were always wondering, was that little nick in the car or that quarter missing in the car from you, or was it from the mechanic when you dropped it off? You can absolutely drop in, have the evidence. You can tell them to put that quarter back. And in the future mode, we will have Guardian mode, which will be coming in December, allow you to set triggers on speed, distance, geofencing, and aggressive driving like hard braking or fast accelerating. So you can never have a Ferris Bueller's Day Off incident and if your valet goes for a joyride.
Ha, I'm old enough to get that Ferris Bueller reference. More with Nextbase about its IQ dash cam when we return. Stay with us.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. We are chatting with Jeff Chuh, VP of Marketing at Nextbase. They have a brand new dash cam on the market called the Nextbase IQ. Talk to us about the emergency SOS feature.
Yeah, so the emergency SOS feature is something that we're really proud of. It's actually built into some of our Series 2 product that's existing now. And what it does is it allows you to drive with ease, knowing that your life could be potentially saved if you got in a major incident and were incapacitated. For example, if you were driving and a deer jumped in front of you and you swerved off the road and got knocked out, the Nextbase dashcam will know that you were in an accident, go through a multi-step protocol to make sure that you're okay. Is your car moving? Are you using your phone, etc.? If you fail to pass all those, it'll automatically send a data pack to 911, dispatching them to your exact location using the dashcam's GPS. And if you choose to include it, the make of your car, the color of your car, what your blood type is, are you diabetic, all your medical records that you need to enable so they can shave minutes and or seconds from getting to you and saving your life.
So Jeff, you've been mentioning some features that aren't available just yet. That'll be an update from what I understand. And there's another mode where it keeps an eye on other cars on the road. And it's kind of like this augmented reality vibe where there's information superimposed on top of objects that tells you info. Tell us about that.
The great thing about the Nextbase IQ is with the cellular connection, we are able to push over-the-air updates and keep innovating new features and improving features as you own the product. One of the features that we're excited about releasing is Road Watch AI. And as you said, the dash cam can understand, is this a car? Is this a person? Is this a truck? And with Road Watch AI, we're going to be able to export incident reports where we can precisely show what the cars were doing around you, how fast they were going, how far were they from the car, package it up so that you can give it to the police or insurance or whoever it may be to get your car back on the road, get your deductible money back, whatever it is.
Very cool. All right, Jeff, as we wrap up, how much is the Nextbase IQ?
Yeah, so the Nextbase IQ starts at under $500 in US and under $700 in Canada. There are 3 models, a 1K, 2K, and 4K. And then we also have a rear camera at $199 in US and $249 in Canada. Best website is at nextbase.com, but we're available and sold at Amazon and Best Buy as well.
All right, nextbase.com. Jeff, congrats on the launch of Nextbase IQ. Good to chat with you.
Thanks, Mark.
Retro is always hot, I'd argue, but I've never seen it so popular as it is now, at least in the tech world. Not sure about fashion, but hey, whether it's teenagers rocking flip phones again, which is part of fashion, I guess. Vinyl has outsold music CDs by almost 3-1, and film cameras, or at least retro filters for digital cameras, are also trendy. I think Fujifilm knows a thing or two about this craze. And so here to chat with us is an old friend of the program, Billy Luong from Fujifilm, who's also one of the Fuji guys on YouTube. Good to chat with you again, Billy. How you doing?
I'm great. Thanks, Mark, for having me today.
Retro, as I said off the top, Billy, it always seems to be hot, but it seems like it's really blown up on social media. I mentioned TikTok earlier. What's going on here?
Yeah, I think we have customers that live purely in the digital age and really hasn't experienced what, maybe you and I have grown up to with regards to things like one-time use film cameras to even the analog experience of, listening to a record player, right? Versus MP3s.
Yeah, kind of neat for kids to have something physical to hold on to, right? In a digital world. I think that's fair.
Speaking of retro, Fujifilm has experienced double-digit growth in one-time use cameras, year to year. And I think it's just resurgent back into film photography because no one has experienced film, right? They lived in a digital world. One thing great about Fujifilm is that we have Fujifilm Print Life that is producing this great service, film development service that makes it easy for customers to actually shoot with analog film and get the developments done. And it's easy and it's online.
And so Fujifilm's cameras do have filters that replicate that film look. Is that one of the things you're finding now?
Yeah, thanks to our film heritage, Fujifilm cameras offer over like 17 built-in film simulation modes, including my favorites like classic chrome and nostalgic negative, which was based on, a certain film back in the days. And this is available with in-camera adjustments that allow you to make, a particular film simulation your own by adjusting parameters like simulated film grains in the image, making them, further unique to everyone else. Unlike filters where it's kind of just applied and that's it, film simulation really replicates the look of actual film that was produced back in the days.
Very cool. Is it easy to apply those filters? Do you do it before the picture is taken or you do it afterwards?
Yeah, film simulation, can be selected within the camera's menu. Like you can easily access it through the Q menu to jump between the different modes. This is on the fly as you shoot. Or if you're shooting raw, Mark, you can use and apply film simulations afterwards, right? So you're not stuck to one look. Or you can even edit those raw files through photo editing software such as Adobe Lightroom or even Capture One.
And what Fujifilm camera would you recommend? I think it's the Fujifilm X100V that's doing really well right now.
Yeah, the Fujifilm X100V has, become highly popular on social and is being, aptly referred to as TikTok's, favorite camera for its analog styling and the ability to produce a film-like look to the images, that are straight out of camera. Like, here's some really cool stats. Like, hashtag X100V has garnered over 60 million views on TikTok. Well, our brand, Fujifilm, the hashtag has over, 490 views, which is, crazy.
Oh, wow.
The great news is all Fujifilm mirrorless cameras offers film simulation mode, so all of our customers can experience this feature and decide on a model that really fits their style or budget.
We are chatting with Billy Luong from Fujifilm. He's also one of the Fuji guys on YouTube. We're talking about the retro craze, whether it's music or flip phones or getting that film-like camera effect on your photos and videos that you're posting to social media, especially on TikTok. We've been chatting about the Fujifilm X100V, which is a premium fixed lens compact camera. I know there are some less expensive options as well.
Yes, Mark, our cameras are competitively priced and we do offer different models, different price points that offers class-leading features, while providing great value. So we do encourage our customers to visit our website at fujifilm-x.com to see different models we offer and to find the nearest retailers that they can check one out in person.
I was touching on earlier the instant cameras and the portable printers. Does Fujifilm still offer those too?
Yeah, Fujifilm Instax offers a wide range of products from point and shoots to hybrid models and even smartphone printers. People love Instax because they're real film prints and, there's just something magical about seeing photos develop before your eyes.
Yeah, it's old is new again, which is awesome. And then finally, Billy, you mentioned a website earlier. Is there one place to go to check out pricing, see photos or videos of these cameras in action to get more info and all that?
Yes, Instax.com to find the latest Fujifilm Instax offerings.
So Instax.com. Billy Luong has been our guest from Fujifilm. Always great to chat with you, Billy. Thanks so much for carving out some time to talk.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
When we return on Tech It Out, we catch up with Western Digital to learn about its WD Black branded drives for consoles and PCs. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. Before we continue on with the show, did you know that shoppers are 3 times more likely to enter an unfamiliar store if it displays a Visa logo? And customers are 5 times more likely to think a merchant is reputable. This is because Visa has invested billions over the years in fraud prevention. So you don't need to think twice about shopping online or at retail using your Visa card. Nor should businesses be concerned about secure payments. Visa is deploying advanced technology to ensure customer data is not vulnerable, no matter where the transactions take place. This includes tokenization, pioneered by Visa as one part of the solution, which can reduce the risk of identity theft because this technology replaces your real cardholder info with a random alphanumeric code so that the merchant never sees your actual card number, yet it ensures a fast transaction as well. To learn more about Visa's work in protecting you and your purchases, visit visa.com/security. That's visa.com/security. When it comes to computer gaming and console gaming, you may know that people now download games a lot digitally rather than buying them on a disc, just like we've done with music and movies and such over the years. But many of today's games are getting huge, and so you may run out of room to store them all. So it's always recommended to add more storage, internally or externally, which you can easily do with the WD Black family of solutions. Joining us to tell us more is Jimmy Gomez, Product Marketing Manager at Western Digital, the parent company to WD Black. Good to chat with you, Jimmy.
Yeah, Mark, thanks for having me.
Yeah, likewise. Before we talk about specific products, give us a WD Black 101, if you will.
Yeah, so WD Black, it's Western Digital's, like premier and performance gaming brand. So with that, we want to build solutions for gamers. So whether, you're on PC or you're a console gamer, or maybe now you're a handheld gamer, that's what WD Black is going after, right? So everything with the brand and the design, it's really gearing towards that gaming audience.
Awesome. And if our listeners ever saw WD Black online, they'll know it's stylized with a WD_Black Black, and WD, of course, is for Western Digital. And so gamers who want storage for their console or PC, we should remind them that it's not just about storage that I sort of alluded to in my introduction, but also the speed of these drives is important.
Yeah, absolutely. Speed definitely, it plays a big part, especially nowadays, right? When we think of the next gen consoles and, where we're going with PC builds and things like that, right? Like you could have top end graphics card, but if your storage is slow, you're going to be wondering, hey, why did I just pay $2,000 for this graphics card and my game still doesn't look good, right? And sometimes people don't realize, well, you might need to look at your storage as well.
Yeah, I tell that to people all the time. They'll be like, hey, I'm going to buy like a 5 terabyte drive so I can store tons of games. I won't have to uninstall games to install new ones. Great, what's the speed? And they're like, because it's going to be hard to play the games off the drive if it's sluggish, right? So speed is just as important as storage or capacity. So with that in mind, Jimmy, let's look at a few of the WD Black solutions out there. Let's divide them into the kind of machine that you like to game on. Starting off with the PC, including those new handheld ones like ROG Ally and Steam Deck. What's new there?
Yeah, so happy to say that we just launched a new product called WD Black SN770M NVMe SSD. What this is, and what's kind of unique about this drive is it's a brand new form factor that is new to the WD Black brand. So what it's called is a M.2 2230, meaning it's 22 millimeters wide and only 30 millimeters long, where your normal SSD or your normal M.2 SSD is a 2280. So it's 80 millimeters long.
That's because these handheld gaming systems, they're small. They look kind of like a Nintendo Switch, but it's a full Windows PC.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. So like a Steam Deck and an Ally, like you were saying, both require this smaller form factor. So that was kind of our idea was, well, hey, like, we have another successful product called the SN770, which is a one of the bigger form factors. So this is just a kind of a smaller version, but you still get a lot of speed out of it. So like the read speeds are 5150 or 5150 megabytes per second, meaning, right, like, I'm loading up a game, like you're getting a lot out of that. And I guess another way to say that is instead of 5000 megabytes, right, you're talking 5 gigs a second of read speeds. So this is something that we know is important. Already been talking, right? If I'm buying these expensive devices, I want to make sure that my games are running smoothly. This one specifically is one of our newest products that we're targeting the handheld market.
And just to unpack some of those acronyms, the NVMe just refers to the interface, like the way it snaps in. And then the SSD, it means solid state drive. So unlike a hard drive, solid state drive is like flash memory, kind of like what's in your smartphone. So it's faster to read and write data.
Yeah. So there's like no mechanical parts where an HDD or a hard disk drive, right, it has a spinning disk on the inside.
Like a platter. Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. All right. So that's the SN770M, and I guess M stands for mobile, to differentiate it from the SN770 for regular PCs, because that is an option for a regular laptop, for a desktop. So that's the SN70M, again, for ROG Ally or Steam Deck, these handheld PC gaming solutions. And how much does the SN770M start at?
Yeah, so it starts at $79.99. And that would be our 500 gig capacity. We also have 1 and 2 terabytes available.
Awesome. Let's now pivot and talk PlayStation 5. What does WD Black have for PS5 gamers?
Yeah, so for PlayStation 5, we actually have the WD Black SN850p. One of the unique things about this drive is that it's actually officially licensed by Sony. So when you look for that product and you look at the box, you're going to see 2 things. One, you'll see the Sony PlayStation stamp on the box, but you're also going to see that same stamp on the product itself. So this is actually our second iteration of working with Sony on an officially licensed product. But with this new one, we redesigned the heatsink so that it would work better in that expansion slot that the PS5 has. So this is where you would install it.
We're going to continue chatting with Jimmy from WD Black in a moment. So let's just put a pin in that. We got a lot more to get to after this short break. You're listening to Tech It Out. Stay with us.
Follow Mark Saltzman on
We are chatting with Jimmy Gomez. He's product marketing manager at Western Digital. We're learning all about the WD Black family of console and PC storage, where it's not just the number of games you can hold, but also the importance of speed to play games right off the drive. Let's now talk Xbox, and then we'll end off on SanDisk, even though it's not technically a WD solution. Let's talk Xbox. They have the C50. Is that internal storage as well?
Actually, this one isn't internal.
Okay.
It is more of an external solution. It's a unique form factor, and it's kind of what we would call like a CF Express, similar to what you might see in some high-end cameras.
Compact flash, I remember that.
Exactly, yeah. So with the C50, you plug it into the back. So there's no need to, I guess different from the PlayStation 5 where you remove the panel and then a few screws here and there. But with the C50, whether you have an Xbox Series X or S, you just plug it into the back. And similar experience, right? It'll be just as fast as the internal storage. You can download and play games directly off of it. And like one kind of cool note on that is, let's say you just bought a new game and you want to take it to your friend's house and they also have an Xbox. You can actually download the game onto a C50, take it out of your Xbox, go to your friend's house, and then plug it into theirs and then be able to play right away. So it kind of has that, it has like a little bit of that mobility factor that makes it a little bit easier to, share games with friends instead of having to wait and like, okay, let's download, this might take an hour, come back to it.
You still have to sign in though to play, right? Like, because this obviously would be an issue for Xbox if they thought you were sharing a game that, one person paid for, but then they're making copies for their friends.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Thanks for that distinction there. Yeah. So this isn't an external hard drive that like we used to see plugged into a console that supported it, like on a wire to an external drive. And this isn't where we have to pop it open. This plugs into the back. The C50 plugs into the back of the Xbox Series S or X. And then for all these solutions we've been chatting about, do you need to install any software or it just automatically recognizes the new drives?
Yeah, no, it'll automatically work. Yeah, especially when we're thinking of either of the consoles, right? As soon as you plug it in, nothing else you need to do besides, follow whatever's on screen. I think there is like a little bit of an initialization process, but that's all handled by, if it's your Xbox, it's handled by that operating system, and if your PS5, similar thing. No special software you need to download.
Great.
For our PC options, we do have what's called the Western Digital Dashboard. So you don't necessarily need that, but it can enhance your experience because now you have a little bit more control of seeing, what's my drive health at? What's the current temperature of my drive? How much space do I have left? So the dashboard is kind of more of a benefit, if you will, or an add-on.
And then how much is the C50 to start for Xbox?
The C50 starts at $79.99, and we have two capacities, 512 gigabyte and 1 terabyte.
All right. And then finally, while SanDisk is your sister brand, there are some Nintendo licensed micro SD cards that can pop into a Nintendo Switch. I've got the Legend of Zelda one, a 1 terabyte card in my Nintendo Switch right now.
Yeah. So like you said, it's our SanDisk brand, but all still under Western Digital. What we have with our Nintendo cards is exactly like you said, right? So we have Nintendo branded SD cards. So we have ones inspired by Yoshi or Mario. We have one that has the Hylian crest from Legend of Zelda, right?
Yeah, that's the one I got.
The crest with the Triforce on it. Yeah, exactly. I have one of these in my Switch as well. Even some of the handhelds we were talking about earlier, there's the option of swapping out that NVMe SSD, or you can put an SD card into the micro SD slot. But yeah, that's what we have in that space, kind of on our SanDisk branded side.
All right, Jimmy. And then the prices for the SanDisk cards are pretty affordable, right?
Yeah. So with the SanDisk cards, they start at $12.99.
Wow.
And yeah, pretty low compared to, I guess, to our other products. But also in that same vein, right, we have a 64 gigabyte, a 256, 512, and then we have a 1 terabyte. So the highest capacity in this line being 1 terabyte compared, to 4 terabyte with the SN850P.
Yeah, these are all great stocking stuffer ideas for that gamer on your gift list. Jimmy, is there a website where we can learn more about all these?
Yeah. So whether it's our WD Black products or our SanDisk products, the micro SD cards, you can go to the Western Digital store, which is westerndigital.com.
That also houses all your WD drives as well, external hard drives that I have connected to my PC. Jimmy, great chatting with you. Thanks so much for your time. Really great info. Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you for tuning into Tech It Out this hour. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're on social media, drop by and say hi. Let me know what you're up to. Feel free to share some pics. If you've got any tech questions, you can hit me up as well. Maybe you've got your eye on something to pick up for yourself over Black Friday, or you want to gift something to a loved one. You want my advice? Happy to share it. I'm on X, formerly Twitter, Threads, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and TikTok. It's Mark Saltzman, MarkSaltzman. Again, it's Mark with a C, Saltzman with a Z, or if you prefer, you can send me an email from my website, marksaltzman.com. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. A good week ahead, and I look forward to catching up with you next weekend for another episode of Tech It Out. Bye-bye for now.